Hi, this is Rick Bice with Bice Fit Exercises on behalf of Edmonds Park and Recreation. Today we're going to go through a circuit training class. What we'll do is we'll alternate between strength training exercises for the muscles, bones, and connective tissues, and then cardiovascular exercise for the heart, lungs, and circulatory system. What we'll do, it's all timed, so what we'll do is we'll do a minute on an exercise. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll do another minute on the same exercise or something very similar, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So I'll call all those out as they happen. What you'll need for this exercise program today is a chair over here, maybe some light to medium dumbbells, and some resistance tubing or band. Maybe light or medium, whatever you have on that. With or without handles, doesn't matter on that. We will begin with a warm-up. We will go through the exercises, then we'll finish off with a cool down and then some stretches at the end. This is all at your own pace, so we strive for a minute's worth of work. If you need to take your breaks, quicker than that, or if by the end of the minute you're not tired or fatigued, you could just go straight through that break that we have. So it's all up to you, the kind of resistance you use, whatever works for your body. Make sure your surrounding area is clear, that you've got room to move around, arm's width sort of stuff at least. You have a proper footwear for the floor that you have. If you've got slippery hardwoods, make sure that you're wearing good shoes that aren't going to slip and slide. If you've got thick carpet, making sure that your feet aren't going to get, isn't going to get caught on the carpet or something and trip you up. So just being careful. All right, let's begin. Okay, let's begin our warm-up. So off to the side, back and forth. Nice and easy here. You can do what I'm doing or something else. I'm just stepping side to side with the forward and back diagonal here. Add some arms in. We're just looking to increase the blood flow throughout the body, get the joints ready, get the connective tissues and muscles ready, get the heart pumping a little faster, get that ready for more activity. Same thing with the lungs. Get your breathing up, get some oxygen in the blood circulating. Nice and easy. All right, back to side. Some outreaches here. We'll go for about 2 minutes. We got about 53 seconds left. You can always pause and warm up longer if you need to, or if you're fully warmed up already from this or something else, just hit the fast forward. All right, switch to some knee curls and bicep curls here. About 25 seconds. Real easy. Not looking to get your breathing up so high that you can't talk or anything. Barely breaking a sweat by the end of this. 10 more seconds. All right, nice job. And of course, remember, if you need more to warm up, you can always do that. So first one we got is a seated knee extension. So you'll need your chair for this one. You're going to take a seat. You can sit fully back against the chair. What we're going to do here is we're going to extend the knee. Get back a little further here. Extend the knee all the way straight. When you've done that, flex the thigh muscle. So try to lock out your knee joint and flex and squeeze the front of your thigh. Toe is pointed up and forward, just straight forward, not rolling out to the side or anything. And hold for, I don't know, 3 seconds or 5 seconds or 10 seconds, and then back down, and then switch legs. Really flexing that thigh muscle, squeezing. Breathe the whole time. Make sure you're not holding your breath at all. This is an isometric contraction, meaning that we're using the muscle and flexing it without necessarily moving the joint. Yes, we're straightening the joint, but you could sit here with your leg on the ground in this same position, something holding your leg, and squeeze the muscle without moving the joint. So once we've moved the joint to where we want it, then we'll squeeze the thigh here, building a little bit of work on the quadriceps. And just sitting upright. Go ahead and take a break there, or keep going, whatever you like there. If you want, if you have some ankle weights, some of those Velcro ankle cuff weights that can go around the ankles, that can work really well as far as adding a little bit more resistance. And if you want less isometric, you could always speed this up a little. Maybe hold for a second at the top and then back down. And go and start up again if you have stopped. Remember, think good posture, and of course breathing. Any kind of isometrics will increase blood pressure a little bit, so that's why we want to be specific as far as breathing, making sure that you really don't hold your breath, because that would just increase blood pressure even more. And if you already have blood pressure issues, really be a little careful on the isometrics as far as how long you hold and making sure you're breathing. And this is for front of the thigh. Got about 10 more seconds. Really flex that muscle, whether you hold the contraction or not. Make sure you give a good flex when you lock out that knee. All right, nice job there. Well done. Done with that guy. So let's get rid of the chair, and you'll need your tubing or your band. All right, so chest fly from a low position. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab thumb up position here. When you grab one end of your band, whether it's the handle or if you don't have a handle, and then you're going to step on this with your heel. Okay, heel's going to step on it, coming out from the outside, and then what you're going to do is you're going to step forward. So we want this band starting behind you. Okay, so weight is distributed pretty evenly between both feet. You could put a little bit more on that front if you really want to get forward in a lunge, and then you're going to bring this forward. Okay, so palm is facing in and up, and you're just kind of going from down below around mid torso and closer to the hip area on up above the shoulder. All right. Again, enough weight on that back foot that this isn't going to pop out. You don't want your band, popping out from under your foot. The longer lunge you can step forward, the better. Or if you need more resistance, I would just grab a little further down on this band, giving more resistance now, making this a little tougher. Kind of up and forward. There we go. Take a break. So we're getting that chest muscle, the pectoral in the front. We're getting that front deltoid also in the shoulder. Those are kind of the major muscles. And then thighs are having to do some work, of course, holding you steady. I want enough weight. Of course, that's going to keep weight on that back foot, but then I want to stand forward enough so that this is behind me when I start. Okay? And then I'm just going to pull forward and around. Forward and around. Okay, nice and easy, hinging forward from the waist a little bit. My weight is pretty even on both feet right now. And of course, breathing, don't hold your breath at all. Head just looks neutral, looking the same way, same direction as your chest. My palm is in. Thumb is more in that up position. Again, good weight on that band so it doesn't pop out and hit anything or hit you. And then if you need more or less resistance, just grab more or less of the band to tighten it up. 10 seconds. Loosen this up just slightly for me. Keep breathing. All right, well done. Nice job there. Okay, so let's get rid of the rubber bands and grab one dumbbell. All right, so next we have the bent over single arm row with the back leg's going to be a little more straight on this. So if I, in kind of that lunge position like we just were, but even a larger lunge, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put most of my weight on this front leg. I'm going to hinge forward at the hips and the waist, not letting my back round out, but keeping that low back straight. Hinge forward, most of my weight's on the front foot. Back leg is there really for balance and support. And now I'm going to roll up. So hand palm facing in. I'm going to bring the elbow up. Hand's going to finish right at the top of the rib cage and then back down. Nice and slow and controlled. This front leg is taking a lot of the weight, doing some work in this lunge position. And then I squeeze that shoulder blade towards my spine when that elbow gets up as high as I can. And how far you lean forward is up to you. How big of a lunge you take, up to you. Work on that upper back, back of the shoulder, bicep in the upper arm. And then of course your quads and your thighs are getting incredible work just holding you in that position. Okay, I'll take a break there. Feel that in the thighs, in the rear. And then same thing with the other side. You can always switch at any time to either leg and hand as you're doing that, or shoot for the whole minute, all up to you. Okay, so again, get in a good position. Really leaning forward here. Hinging forward, most of my weight on this front leg. And I'll start up. And that back leg, again, is just there. A little bit of support. I've probably got, 20% of my weight there at most. More for balance. Toe, heel can be down or up. It's kind of up to you. But I'm trying to hinge, keep myself bent. Keep most of my weight on this front leg. And then work that upper back. Squeeze the shoulder blade. Keep your balance. If you're having balance issues, bring that back leg a little closer. Or you can bring that back leg out a little further away so it's not right behind you. Ten seconds. Keep it up. Keep breathing. All right, nice job. Well done there. Okay, we have a cardiovascular. So you can start right away, or we got a transition of about 32 seconds. Grab a sip of water. You want to stay hydrated, so making sure you've got your water bottle handy. All right, I'm going to start up a little bit of knee curls again. Bicep curls. So cardio is a lot like the warm-up we just did, except we're going to expand a little faster, after the first 30 seconds or so. start increasing your rate. A little bigger exercises. All right, so 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Just looking to spike our heart rate up, and then we'll go back to some more strength training. Switch to a ladder climb. Some marching and shoulder press here. And whatever pace works for you. You can go faster or slower than what I'm doing. You can do what I'm doing or something else. If you've got dance classes or aerobic classes you've done, or martial arts moves or sports, if you've got, you know, stairs you can walk up and down, treadmill, rowing machine. All right. Side to side with some scissors here. All up to you. Whatever's comfortable for you, whatever gets your heart rate elevated, your breathing elevated. 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Now think of the talk test. Like me, if you can talk out loud and still be understood, then you're probably okay. If you're so out of breath that you can't be understood talking out loud, then you're probably working a little too hard, a little too fast. And let's open wide and close. Nice big moves. All right, pressing back here. Keep the legs straight, the arms straight. I'm just going to hinge forward from the waist a little bit. Just consistent movement is all we're looking for. How fast, that's kind of up to you. And depending on how high you want that heart rate and breathing up. 20 seconds. Now switch to some tricep kickbacks here. And more knee curls. All right, nice job. Okay, the next 3 ones are going to be on your mat. So grab your mat if you have one, or if you've got a nice soft spot in the carpet. And here's what I'll do. You can take 1 dumbbell with you, set it next to you. I'm not going to need it for this first one. All right, so what we have is the quadruped. On your hands and knees, okay, what we're going to do, I'll start with the legs. We're going to bring one leg back, extend the knee and the leg all the way, squeeze that cheek on your rump, hold for a couple seconds, and then back down. Try as best you can not to rotate. Try to keep flat. Think of your back and torso as a tabletop. Nice and flat. And your hands are right under your shoulders. Head is looking down at the ground, same as the chest. And again, you know, if you feel like you're rotating, drop that hip of the straight leg. Holding a couple seconds, or 5 seconds, or 10 seconds, whatever works for you. Brace those core abdominal muscles, but keep breathing. So now what we do is switch to an arm. Okay. Try to keep that tabletop as best you can. Okay. So depending on what works for you, legs only or arms only, what we'll do, we're going to put it together on this next one and do opposite arm, opposite leg. Has to be opposites, of course. You're not going to do same side. You'll end up tipping over. So what we're working, shoulders and chest, arms, of course. When we raise the arms, we're going to get a little bit more shoulder, upper back. When we do hips and legs, we're going to get glutes in the rear. We're going to get low back is doing some work. Abdominals are having to stabilize. Okay. All right. So back in position, hands and knees. Nice to be on something soft, especially for the knees. So what I'll do is leg on opposite arm. Same thing, making sure you're not rotating or twisting, and holding, 3 seconds or 5 or 10 seconds, whatever works for you. Head is just neutral, looking down. So this is quadruped, or sometimes called bird dog. Tight abdominal muscles. And again, trying not to rotate at all. Better to have the leg lower than higher. You don't want to be up real high. You want to keep it straight back behind you or below. One more here. All right. Nice job there. Well done. All right, supine bridge. So the next thing we have is laying on your back. I'm going to move this down just a little bit. So you want some space above your head from when we get to the pullover. So moving your mat or whatever you need to do so that you have room to raise your arms above your head. All right, so laying on your back, supine, in the hook line position. I'll try to make sure this mic isn't making a lot of noise for you. So bridge, we have our pelvic tilt. So in our hook line position here, we rotate our pelvis forward so that it straightens that low back, pushes the low back into the ground. That's the pelvic tilt. We bear our abdominal muscles as we do that, and then hold that position, and then you can relax. Rotate and hold, all in the hips. Okay, abdominals are contracting, legs are not pushing, hips are you're still on the ground, nice and firm. So now what we'll do, I'm going to relax. I'm going to add a bridge. So hands can be at your sides, or you can be at your chest, or out to the sides, or up above your head for more work. All up to you. So pelvic tilt, and then I'm going to lift up. How high you lift up is up to you. The higher you lift, the more work it's going to be. And I'm squeezing my cheeks on the rear, and then I'm going to relax. Pelvic tilt, lift up in the air, and hold that position. Take a break if you need to, and then back down. Okay, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll get back to it. So again, pelvic tilting, and then that bridge, and then holding it. Again, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever works for you. All right, let's begin again. Tilt and then lift up. And again, if your hands are down here at your sides, kind of a little wider, that's going to be the easiest. Closer, it's going to be a little tougher. Take a break. Try it again. Tilt and lift. Feet are about hip width apart. And then, of course, hands on my hips and on my chest. A little bit tougher. Hands out to the sides or above is going to be the most difficult. Or if I want to hold a weight at the same time. You can also hold a dumbbell. If I was to take this dumbbell and hold it on my hips, tilt and then lift, that's going to give me a little bit more work, of course, having this extra 10 pounds sitting on top of my hips. So we're working glutes in the rear. We're also working the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs is what that is. Tilt and hold, lift. And then, of course, keeping breathing, not holding your breath at all. Lift up as high as you can and hold that. All right, nice job. Okay, take a break there. So on to the next one, we've got the pullover. So we're going to do this with the pelvic tilt. So we just did bridges, but what we'll do is the pelvic tilt, so that part just before the bridge. Okay. Bring myself down a little lower here. All right. So what I'll do, so I'm going to bring this up, and you're going to lift that weight above your head here. Okay, right above your face. Make sure you got a dry grip, firm grip, dry hands. I'm going to tilt and hold that pelvic tilt. Now I'm going to bring those arms back as far as I can above my head towards the ground, and then back forward. You don't have to hold it all. It's up to you. You want to hold the tilt, but you don't have to hold the pullover. Nice and controlled all the way down until your hands touch maybe, and then back up. And then, of course, take a break at any time, and then re-tilt, hold that tilt. Maybe make a goal of 3 or 5 pullovers before you release that pelvic tilt. Now, this is just to make that tilt harder to hold, and especially when the arms go back towards the ground, that's when it gets difficult to hold that tilt, okay? So you need to make sure that you got that tilt nice and steady when the hands are closer to the ground, because that's when that tilt wants to pull away. Just hold that tilt. Keep breathing, of course. Don't hold your breath. All right, nice job. Okay, got a good rest going here. All right, in position. Let's get ready again for our second set. So good firm grip, dry hands, and here we go. Pelvic tilt, back and forth. Nice and easy and controlled. Remember, real gentle. Good grip, dry hands. Hold that pelvic tilt, that's the main priority. And then nice and slow and controlled as far back as you can with the arms. Here we're working some upper back and some chest, shoulders and arms. And then with our pelvic tilt, we're getting abdominals, hip muscles, low back is stabilizing, glutes are stabilizing a little bit. Nice and easy. And hold that tilt as long as you can. If you find you're losing that tilt or you need a break with those pullovers, then that's a good time to relax. Otherwise, try to hold that tilt as long as you can breathe. Keep going there. All right, nice job. That's all we got for this guy. So let's get up and off the mat. You can get rid of your mat here. Okay, so we got rid of our mat. Get rid of your dumbbell. We have a cardiovascular next here for our next one. Again, take your time. You know, if you're getting, if a little bit of lightheadedness or dizziness, take your time getting up, making sure you can see, if the lights weren't blinding you, when you're looking there. Nice and easy to start on this cardio. Grab a sip of water. We've got about 15 seconds until we start up officially. I'll get going right now. And I'm going to start punching across here. Nice and easy. Just punching across. Okay, so about 2 minutes and 20 seconds is what we have. Nice and easy. A little bit of uppercut here. Want to get our breathing up, get everything going, get the heart rate elevated again. We're spiking things back up. Last 3 exercises, it's heart rate's died down a little bit, especially laying on the back. Now we want to spike it back up. All right. A little bit of forward punching. Let's go some forward taps. Tapping with my heel and some forward punches. How fast he goes up to you. Again, whatever you need to do in order to get your heart rate elevated, a little faster or a little slower. I'm pretty moderate myself here. I want to be able to talk to you guys, so I'm not going too fast. All right, open and close. Got a minute left. Have that water handy, of course. We want to stay hydrated. Pull a little row here. Back with the toe. A little toe tap in the back. A little bit of a rowing here. Squeezing those shoulder blades, each one. Just hinging forward slightly from the hips, keeping the weight more on the ball and toes of my feet. Looking good there. 10 seconds. Let's go back to a regular march here. Nice and easy. Keep those hands pumping. Okay, all right. Nice job there. Grab some water. Next one we have is bicep curl and heel raise. So you will need a couple dumbbells for this. All right, keep your breathing. There you go. Our heart rate's up a little bit, breathing's up a little bit, yeah? That's what we want. Okay, so we got heel raises and bicep curls. So, starting with the palms in, we're gonna do a supination curl. So what we'll do is we're gonna rotate and bend those elbows as far as you can, all the way bent, and then the reverse, all the way straight. And then I'll just rotate my wrists in and out just before I get to my hips and just after I leave my hips. But the only thing moving, elbows and forearms here. I got a nice firm grip, dry hands, good posture, breathing. And then what you can do is add up on the toes. Side view here, up on the toes. And if you want, heels and toes. So we're working the bicep muscles, front of the upper arm. Just isolating that, so I'm not swinging the arm at all, I'm not getting the hips involved, just elbows, and then ankles. Working the calf muscles and the shin muscles. And a little bit of balance, of course. Feet are about hip width apart. You decide, take a break here. You decide, whenever you throw the heel raise in and the toe raise in, when do you do your bicep curl with those movements? Yeah, whatever works with your coordination and your balance. Give my grip a rest. Just put your dumbbells down. Shake everything out. All right, let's grab them again and get in position. Again, making sure you're breathing. What you can also do, let's start back up, is we can alternate. So one at a time. If you get a little tired, or maybe your balance is, off a little bit, or your coordination, then just one at a time can work good too. But again, keeping your balance, good coordination, breathing, good posture, not swinging the arms. 20 seconds. I'm going to go back to doubles here. Not swinging the arms, not swinging your hips at all. High as you can on those toes and heels comfortably. And breathing. All right, well done. Nice job here. Let's see, so what do we got next? Seated washing machine. So if you can grab your chair and a couple dumbbells again. I'm going to switch out to some smaller dumbbells than what I was just using. Doing a shoulder exercise now. All right, so here we're going to sit on the chair, but more on that first half of the chair. I don't want to sit, lean back against the back of the chair like I did with the knee extensions. This one, I want to be able to lean back and engage my abdominal muscles to do some work. Now, while I do that, I'm going to go around. Each arm is going to go around at the same time. Let's begin here. Washing machine, think of, two agitators in the water. And you can lean back just a little bit. Let your abdominals do some work while you do this. Hands will be, anywhere between belly and shoulder height, whatever is comfortable for you. Palms are going to face in, and you can go, counterclockwise or clockwise. Kind of find what patterns work for you, what's comfortable. How far you straighten and bend the elbows is up to you. You can do a smaller circle, be a little easier. Or if you're doing a bigger circle, maybe you're doing a big enough circle that the whole torso is having to move just a little bit as you do this too, okay? It's all up to you and how big or small you want this to be. Almost there. Shoulders are getting quite a workout on this one. All right, take a break. Yeah, deltoids for sure. In the front of the shoulder, getting quite a bit of workout. Arms, doing some work. Chest, abdominals having to support you, especially if you're doing a little bit of leaning back or any kind of rotation and movement with this. Head stays neutral, just looking wherever the chest does. Relax the shoulders, okay? We're not higher than the shoulders. We're going to be at best, shoulder height at the highest, okay? All right, get that burning to subside in the shoulders. Nice firm grip, dry hands, and let's begin again. And breathing, always breathing, especially if you're leaning back and getting those abdominal muscles. If this is a little tough on the coordination, or maybe you don't have small enough weights that each hand can handle the weight, then getting rid of one weight and just switching over to just the stir the pot. So doing this with one hand instead of two hands, okay? If two hands is not working well for you, you can also go backwards here. So just kind of again adjust the pattern depending on your coordination. Let's see, here we go. So each one is going in opposite direction. Couple seconds. All right, nice job. That of course makes things a lot tougher if each arm goes a different direction. Then you're really having to think why you do it too, along with all the work. All right, so great work on the shoulders there. Definitely tired from that one. What do we have next? We've got the sideways shuffle with a side reach. So one dumbbell again. Clear your space, getting the chair out of the way, mat out of the way. You want to be able to move a little bit on this guy. All right, so if you can, find a space where you can take one or two steps in either direction. What we'll do is we'll slide and slide. Okay, and then I'll go back the other way. Slide, slide, slide. Now, if you're on carpet, make sure you're picking up that foot especially, as opposed to on a hardwood where maybe you can get away with sliding that outside foot a little bit. The last thing you want to do is, catch the outside of your foot and topple over. So really picking up that foot if you need to. And I've just got the knees slightly bent and I'm taking a big side step. As I do that, I'm rotating my torso toward the direction I'm going and reaching out with this dumbbell a little bit. How far you reach and how far you rotate is up to you and how big of a step you take, okay? You may only have room for, side to side. That's okay too. It's all up to you. If you have room, take more steps. 5 seconds. All right, take a break. So we're getting some abdominal work, some oblique work with the rotation. We're getting more shoulder work and arm work with holding that dumbbell in front and pushing out and away from the body. Outside of the thighs and hips are having to do some work, pushing you. Plus we're in that slight athletic stance of bending those knees the whole time, okay? Make sure those knees are bent the whole time. How far is up to you? I mean, you could really get down if you wanted to, but really it's just a bend in the knees. We want to focus on the side to side, not so much how far you're bending and squatting down. All right, let's try it again here. Losing my microphone there. Oops, there we go. All right, well, we'll take care of that later. All right, so each direction. Again, just a little bit of bend in those knees. Focus on the side to side motion. and the rotation of the torso, and add those arms in if you want a little bit more work. Just kind of pushing those hands out and away from the body. About 17 seconds. Okay, nice job there. Well done. Get rid of your dumbbell. We've got one more cardio here. Fix this mic, sorry. It's kind of stuck. All right, well, so that's what it's going to do right now. Okay, so cardio, again, you can get going right away, or you can wait. We got another 12 seconds transition. Make sure you're drinking water. I'll start up. A little bit of cross punch across. Same thing with the leg, heel tap across. Remember, just consistent movement is all we're looking for. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. This is our last cardio. So give it a good push. We're going to cool down and do some balancing after this. So one more chance to give a good spike to your heart rate, increase that metabolism. Bicep curls and a regular side step. Actually, let's switch it here. Side taps with biceps. There you go, looking good. Remember, whatever pace works for you to get that heart rate elevated, get your breathing elevated. I've moved, doing a little bit of a hammer curl here, so palms are facing in. All right, let's go out to the side here. Chicken wings. So regular side step, elbows are bent. I'm just raising them about parallel to the ground or so. Working that middle deltoid. Keep going here. All right, minute left here. Let's go back to some regular marching. Give yourself a little room here. You can take more or less steps than I'm taking. I'm going to go forward and backwards a little bit. So narrow march and backwards. Now I'm going to go wide and forward wide and then backward wide and forward wide. Again, watch your surroundings depending on your space, what's around you, what's to trip on, what's to bump into, especially when you're going backwards. And narrow forward and wide backwards. And narrow forward and wide backwards. Keep those arms pumping too. And one more forward and wide backwards. All right, back to a regular march here. Narrow. And let's slow that march up. You can even march with just the heels if you want. A little smaller with the hand movements. Nice and easy. All right, now we're just cooling down a little bit. We're going to integrate some cool down and balance exercises. Let's give a little bit just cool down here, another 20 seconds. Nice and easy. Great time to grab some water. Just, keep walking around while you're drinking water. Nice and gentle. Open and close with the hands. And again, I'm going slower now. And I'm doing that deliberately because I want my heart rate to start getting back down. I want my breathing to start getting back down. I don't want to stop totally and just go take a seat. I need to cool down. I need to get my blood pumping throughout the whole body, not just in the major muscles. sometimes the blood will pool in the larger thigh muscles and not be up in the brain where it needs to be fully. And that can lead to dizziness, lightheadedness, possible fainting, falls, injuries, and so on. So that's why we cool down mostly. Below 100 beats per minute is kind of what we're looking for safety. Let's get a little balance in. So let's look at if you need to cool down more. If you're really pushing hard, you can always keep cooling down. You can pause this, of course, and cool down more and get back to the balance whenever it works for you. So let's pretend we got a tight rope about hip width apart. I'm going to walk that tight rope forward and backwards. Pretty easy. Okay. Forward and backwards. I'm going to try not to look at my feet at all. Know how many steps you can take, before you hit things. Now let's say I've got a tight rope that's about as wide as both feet. Now I'm going to take some smaller steps, feet closer together. Gets a little tougher to do, right? And now backwards. Maybe you count your steps, you know how many you can take. Now we got a tight rope that's just as wide as 1 foot. Even tougher, okay? And then same thing with backwards. Now I'm going to go heel to toe, so it's even tougher. Just using by feel. If you're having issues with your feet and feeling, neuropathy, different things, nerve issues, this is going to be a lot tougher, and you're going to have to be more careful. Maybe you have one hand on the wall, kind of walking along with you if you need to, okay? Something we can do, make this a little tougher, would be if I have a dumbbell, I'm going to walk that tight rope with the dumbbell out to the side. Just one dumbbell. It's going to want to pull me, in different directions. I can switch hands. Again, making sure I'm, have enough room so I'm not whacking things. I can switch that dumbbell back and forth as I'm walking. And this is going to give me even more work. Just kind of back and forth. Closing one eye. If you're a visual person and use your eyes a lot, this is going to be even tougher. So just kind of playing around and seeing what works for you as far as balance. What makes this more difficult or easier for you. We'll do a little bit of stepping over sleeping dogs. So remember this. Think about if you have a dog, Chihuahua, something really small, and it's asleep on the ground. You don't want to wake them. So you're just going to step over. Nice and easy. Step over. Okay. And maybe you've got a larger dog, so you've got to make a bigger step. Okay. Depending on how large the dog is, that of course will increase the step size, making your balance even harder. Okay, so play around with that, with the size of the dog that works for you. You can also freeze at set points. So if I'm gonna step over a dog and dog's about to wake up, so now I gotta freeze and pause. Maybe I hold that a couple seconds or 5 seconds or 10 seconds. I step over, and now I got to pause. Okay, so it's a little single leg balance after that step over. Nice and controlled, really working the balance. Step over, big step, and then pause. Again, how big of a step you take, how big of a dog you're pretending that you have, up to you. Again, good posture. Breathing. Let's try another one. Step over. Excellent. So we're getting some balance in, but we're also still moving. So it's part of the cool down. Getting our breathing back to normal. All right, nice job. Let's do one more here. Just a little bit of toe walking. So think about walking on your toes. Okay. Heels are up in the air, just walking on your toes, forward or backward or side to side. You can tick-tock side to side in one spot, especially if you don't have a space that's big enough to move around. Okay, now let's switch to heels, heel walking. So your toes are up in the air. Now we're working the shin muscles, also working the balance, Again, you can tick-tock back and forth or walk side to side, you know, whatever works for you for balance-wise. Okay. All right, nice job there. Okay, let's finish off with some stretches. So first stretch, stretching the back of the thigh, okay, behind the knee. I'm gonna squat down and hinge forward. Most of my weight's on this back leg. I'm just gonna keep my toe pointing forward and my leg is right in front of me. I'm gonna lean forward until I feel a stretch behind my thigh, behind my knee. Maybe a little bit in the calf muscle. This could be in the rump and in the low back a little. I can reach down as if I'm trying to grab my knee or my toe. Nice and gentle on the stretch. Good 20 or 30 second hold. Kind of what we're shooting for. Let's try the other leg. All right, just try to relax your thigh. Just trying to relax everything. Nice and gentle, no jerking, no bouncing. Real easy. Toe is pointed forward. You can bring that toe towards your nose and get a little more calf involved, or allow those toes to sink down to the ground more and take the calf out of it. All up to you. All right, let's try another stretch here. So middle and upper back. We're gonna pelvic tilt like we did when we were laying on our back doing those pelvic tilts. Hips thrust forward. Low back is gonna straighten out. I'm gonna squeeze the cheeks of my rear together. And then interlace my fingers, push my hands away from my body as far as I can. Straighten the elbows. I'm gonna round out my upper and middle back. Again, just try to stretch out the upper and middle back. And may stretch out the forearms a little bit. Straighten those elbows all the way. Keep breathing. Always want to breathe. And relax. All right, we got one more stretch here. Okay, last one. Stretching the upper chest area, fronts of the shoulders. We're gonna about 90 degrees in the armpit and the elbows here. We're gonna go back. Elbows are going back, forearms are going back. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, okay? Bringing my arms backwards behind me. Chest is expanded. I can lean back a little bit. Let's straighten those arms. Thumbs back and palms up. Really open wide as far as I can. Head is neutral. Chest is out, leaning back slightly. Hips can come forward. Nice deep breathing. And I'm going to bend those wrists backwards. I'm going to get my wrists and forearms and palms a little bit of a stretch, really wide with the fingers. All right. Excellent. All right, nice job with the workout today. Thanks for being here.